Crazy stat, 99% of my viewers aren't subscribed.
Get out of here!
Yes, even Father thinks that's insane. So hit that subscribe button and help me make more Kids Next Door content. Let's jump right in. Today, we are going to talk about Rachel T. Mackenzie, better known as Number 362, the operative who rose from undercover fieldwork to becoming the supreme leader of the Kids Next Door organization. As Kids Next Door fans, you need to know everything about her. Long before she held that title, she had built a reputation as one of the finest spies in the organization. On one mission, she infiltrated the mansion of the Delightful Children to gather intelligence, but the operation went sideways. At that same time, a fugitive operative known as Number 206 had escaped decommissioning. Sector V was dispatched to capture him, joined by Number 86, who refused to work with boys, and instead brought along Numbers 3 and 5. Ironically, it was Numbers 1, 2, and 4 who actually managed to capture the fugitive. Number 86 quickly flew him to Moonbase for immediate decommissioning, eager to claim the victory for herself. But there was a twist. The so-called fugitive was actually Number 362 in disguise, running her own covert mission. They had unknowingly disrupted her plans, and she was far from pleased. She took it all out on Number 86, who we can say deserved that for attempting to take all the credit, ignoring the fact that it was Numbers 1, 2, and 4 who had done the heavy lifting. At this point, Chad Dixon, or Number 274, was the supreme leader of the Kids Next Door. Of course, we now know that he would eventually betray the organization, but that's a story worth saving for another video. Number 86 deeply admired Number 362, yet she still managed to get on her bad side. The incident happened when 86 held a slumber party with some of her friends, leaving the code module exposed to enemy threat. To be fair, she hadn't abandoned her duties entirely. She left operatives in charge of guarding it. But even with those precautions, Kree managed to use some truly devious tricks to infiltrate the moonbase and compromise its security. Number 362 made sure to point out her failure to do this during the graduation ceremony of new operatives.
Due to the recent theft of the essential KND code module, while a certain operative was having a slumber party instead of guarding it, we can't technically induct our graduated cadets into the super incredibly big computer mabob.
Sector V did manage, however, to get the code module back. Rachel's journey wasn't easy. She faced enemies that threatened the very survival of the Kids Next Door, and struggled with the doubts and insecurities that come with being responsible for thousands of lives. This pressure eventually got to Number 362, and she made one of the craziest moves a leader could ever make. She placed the very leadership of the Kids Next Door on the line in a game of tag.
At this point, I feel I have exhausted those very things. So it is at this time, fellow Kids Next Door, that I must say, tag! You're it!
Now, you might think every operative would jump at the chance to become supreme leader, but the truth was very different. The position carried an overwhelming amount of responsibility, often chaining the leader to paperwork, commanding from afar, rather than taking part in the action-packed missions most kids dreamed of. In short, it wasn't fun for a kid. The first person Number 362 tagged was Number 86, who quickly passed it on to Number 4. From there, the cycle spiraled out of control. Even Number 1 got tagged, and surprisingly, he didn't want the job either. What followed was pure chaos. The rules were simple. Whoever was it by noon would become the new supreme leader of the Kids Next Door. Operatives scattered, hiding to avoid being tagged. But there was one exception. Number 13. Unlike the others, he embraced the title with pride.
Hot dog! I'm gonna be the leader of the Kids Next Door!
The problem was, no one liked him. In fact, operatives were so desperate to stop him from becoming leader that some literally allowed themselves to be tagged just to keep him out of power. The game of tag turned into an all-out war. With only seconds left on the clock, Number 2 ended up as it. Desperate to pass it on, he accidentally tagged Father. Yes, that Father.
Run, children. Run like animals.
And here's the twist. Thanks to Tommy, Father had technically become a Kids Next Door operative. That loophole made his tag valid. Immediately, he twisted the rules, declaring that the Supreme Leader could not be decommissioned.
So, new rule. You can't decommission your Supreme Leader.
A convenient clause, since he was an adult who should have been decommissioned long ago. Father wasted no time seizing the moment. He delivered an inspiring speech about eradicating broccoli from the world.
Propose that together we eradicate every last sprig of broccoli on Earth.
And to the kids, it sounded like the dream they'd always wanted. But of course, it was a trap. His real plan was to use his new authority to access the KND's treehouse root system and upload a broccoli virus. This would fill every KND treehouse in the world with broccoli, ensuring every child ate it. In the Kids Next Door universe, broccoli was like kryptonite. It weakened kids, and they hated it.
I'll create enough broccoli to feed every kid in the world. And the only way to eradicate it is by eating it!
This chaos led to a climactic showdown. Number 362 and Number 1 joined forces against Father, and we got to truly see 362's skill in combat. Cornered, Father had no choice but to tag her, restoring her as Supreme Leader. During all of this, it was Number 1 who convinced her to take back the mantle of leadership.
Sure, it's hard, but I'll bet that's what makes it exciting for you. I'd hate to see you give that up.
Thanks, Nigel.
That moment showed not only 362's strength in battle, but also Number 1's natural talent as a leader. Number 362 proved time and again that she wasn't just a fighter, but also a leader, who valued peace when it was truly possible. When the chance arose to establish a truce with the teenagers, she was willing to sign the treaty and bring an end to the endless conflict.
But today, I'm here to tell you that we are at the crossroads of a new relationship with the teens. We're going to make peace with them. The teenagers have asked for a truce, and it's in the best interest of kids worldwide for us to accept it.
It turned out to be a trap, but her willingness to consider peace over war spoke volumes about her character. She also showed moments of sharper judgment than even Number 1. During the battle at the museum, when he defied orders to chase his own instincts, she called out his recklessness.
You're a brave kid, Nigel, but you only saved us by being reckless and lucky. Luck is like ice cream. It can't last forever.
Recognizing that leadership required discipline and restraint, she entrusted the role of Global Tactical Officer to Number 86, judging that Number 1 was too impulsive to hold such responsibility. Eventually, the mantle of Supreme Leader was passed on to Number 5, and we hope to get more of Number 362 in Galactic Kids Next Door. Although Rachel wondered if she was truly fit to carry the title, she led the Kids Next Door against global threats, and was willing to make sacrifices to the organization. Despite being serious at times, she was also kind, understanding, and friendly.